So replacing the starter motor on the Volkswagen Type 25, you've got to find it first, so it's easy to find. It's in the rear engine bay on the right hand side and it's connected to the gearbox. As you can see, there's a couple of bolts that hold it in place. So disconnect the power from the back, but make sure that you disconnect the battery, very important, before you do any of this work, otherwise you can short your battery out. Get an Allen key of the right size for the socket head on the back. I find it helps if you get some of this WD-40 as well and just spray it on, making sure that the bolts and the nuts are easily loosened. It really does help, to be honest. It's quite a godsend. Right, so I'm under my Volkswagen now. As you can see, my hand is just undoing the power terminals at the back. So taking the alternator lead off and the other lead underneath, using a smaller socket. So I'm using a ratchet and a socket to this. I've filmed it from the top so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm actually under the van at this stage. You can see the Allen key in place as well, ready to take the main bolts off after we've done this. I know it sounds simple, guys, but obviously a lot of people don't know the difference between the starter motor and the solenoid. I didn't at first, but anyway, here goes. The smaller barrel, the smaller cylinder at the top of the picture is actually the solenoid, and the actual starter motor is the bigger one that's just behind the Allen key, as you can see in the photo. So just a bit of definition for you there. So just a quick note, when you take the starter motor off, the actual solenoid will come off with the starter motor as one unit. So just showing under the van now to take the other bolt off. You put the socket onto the bolt once you've taken the leads off, and you can obviously see that the ratchet's going to connect onto the bolt there. I don't actually work this fast, I just sped it up just for the video. Right, so now for the top nut. The top nut is situated on the bolt that goes through from the starter motor through the gearbox, and you can see it there. There's the nut and it's 15mm. So put your socket onto it, and obviously we've already put the hexagon key, or the Allen key if you like, on the other side, and as you start to turn it you can loosen the bolt. So once you got the bolts out, you can see that they're quite easy to get off once they've been soaked in WD-40. Take them out, don't lose them whatever you do. Obviously you can clean them up as well if you like to. Looking at the starter motor, just get the starter motor out now from the back. You can simply just waggle it backwards, well towards the front of the vehicle, left and right. You don't need to hit it with anything unless it's really fused on, and then take it out. Starter motor's off, you can clean the commutator up using fluid, or you can put it on a lathe and take a little slice off it, sort of a very thin layer. Obviously you got to take the back off it as well to get this out, and the two bolts that hold it on from the back side of it, so you can see the two holes there on the photo. And obviously on this one the brushes were all worn out. Right, so once you've unsuccessfully electrocuted yourself, connect the terminals as shown. So obviously the black lead to the negative lead goes onto the aluminium part of it, so that'll be the earth on your van. And then while I'm demonstrating this, the red one is the positive lead, and you can see that the solenoid's kicking out and spinning the motor. But also if you go to the one below, it just spins the motor on its own. So it's a good test just to see whether it works. And I also did this first before I started to recondition the actual unit before I put it all back together again. Right, so the next stage of this is just to show you a bit of cleaning. Cover the front of the starter motor up with some bubble wrap or something. Tape it up because you don't want any dirt going back into the workings of it. Use the wire brush as well. You can see I've got a really old drill here set up as well, because obviously you don't want to be ruining a decent drill because of the sideways movement that you're using. I have lots of these old drills, so therefore we can use them over and over again. You can pick them up for £2-3 on car boot sales really easily and readily available. Not so much now because there's no car boots going on, but I've got a bit of a stockpile of them. Anyway, so obviously use the circular wire brush to get into the flat edges. And later on in the video you can see that I'm going to show you quickly. It's a little tiny one, like a ball end one, that you can use to get into the tighter gaps. You can probably strip it down even further and clean it by electrolysis somehow, but it's really important that you get everything clean. So terminals are really important as well. If they're rusted up or furred up or anything like that, they won't work properly. So take the bolts off, the nuts off, and obviously clean all the contacts as well. I use the wire brush to clean the nuts. As you can see, I'm holding them with some point nose pliers, and I'm doing it that way just to clean up the edges, just so the conductivity's there really. On an older unit like this, it's very important you get a good electrical contact. Right, so I'm not really going to go to town on this because it's a reconditioned unit. It's quite a replacement unit anyway. As you can see from the final finish, it looks quite nice. Obviously I've not gone to town too much. I've cleaned the copper parts up for the actual conductivity. So a really important thing as well is just to clean up the front edge as well on the starter motor, because if you don't, then when it puts back onto the gearbox it won't make a connection. But also clean the gearbox face as well. Make sure you cover it up, you don't get any parts inside the gearbox, because obviously you don't want to wear the gears away and things. So thanks for watching, and hopefully there's another video available very soon.